I was lucky enough to get a car after my freshman year of college. It was my aunt's old 2008 Toyota Corolla that she gave me so I would be able to drive to my internship every single day. But finally, after about 240,000 miles, it is starting to see its issues, and I'm having to pay thousands of dollars in order to get repairs done. And of course, this got me thinking, maybe it's time to get a new car. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Tyler Warlow and I go by the Mengineer, and I make videos on how to improve your life through your confidence, capabilities, and overall happiness. In today's video, I want to cover the pretty common question of whether or not you should get a used or a new car. I plan to cover everything that you will need to know, as well as at the end of the video giving what I personally think you should do. This is going to involve discussing the cost, insurance, maintenance, and just general features of the cars. Of course, I am not an expert though, so you should always make sure that you do your own research, and any decisions that you make surrounding this are your own. But now that we've got that covered, let's go ahead and jump into the video. The first point that I want to cover is a pretty common thing that most of us were taught, and that was that you should never buy a new car. That's because they're less affordable and they immediately lose their value. But how true is this? Well, just a few years ago, it actually was pretty true. In 2019, a modest budget of about $24,000 on average would get you a 2-year-old car. Unfortunately though, the recent years have seen that change a little bit. In 2023, the average cost of a 2-year-old used car has risen up to $38,000. That's over a 50% increase in the price of a 2-year-old used car. So obviously the prices of used cars have risen, but what about the new ones? According to Kelley Blue Book, the average price of a new car in 2023 is about $48,000. This is about a $10,000 increase from what the prices were in 2019. That rapid rise in cost is due to several factors. Obviously, inflation plays a pretty big role in that, but then you next have to consider the law of supply and demand. Several factors such as disrupted supply chains and lack of materials led to a pretty big decrease in production of cars through the years of 2020 and 2022. And this is with consumers still needing new cars. So you had decreased production but increased need. So as a result, prices have skyrocketed. Additionally, on top of that, a lot of car companies have started reducing production of more affordable car models in favor of more expensive options like EVs and SUVs. And part of that is in part due to consumer trends starting to trend more towards those expensive cars. All of this is great and all, but generally the main argument against a new car is that it depreciates so much within the first year of having the car, and that's why you should go with a used car. But is that argument still valid given the prices that I just went over with you guys? Let's examine it. While this doesn't apply to all brands, generally speaking, most car brands will see a depreciation of about 20% within the first year of ownership of a new vehicle. Afterwards, you will start seeing a depreciation of about 15%, slowly reducing year over year until about the 5 to 6 year mark, when depreciation has kind of reached its main impact on the value of your car. Currently, in 2023, if you're looking to buy the average 2-year vehicle, you're going to be paying more than what the vehicle would be worth after 2 years of depreciation. We already mentioned how the average cost of a new car in 2023 is about $48,000. After just 1 year of depreciation, it's going to be about $38,000. So you can see that after just 1 year depreciation, that it's already going to be on par with the average cost of a 2-year-old car. But if you did just 1 more year of depreciation of 15%, you would be sitting at a car's value of $32,640. This means that the value of a 2-year-old car is only about $32,640. But the average price of a 2-year-old car is sitting at $38,000. $6,000 is a pretty big disparity between the price and what the value should be of the car. And Business Insider actually gives some really good examples of this disparity in another way. For many models of cars right now in 2023, What you would have been able to afford a 2 to 3 year old car in 2019 now can only get you a 6 to 9 year old car in 2023. In my opinion, in terms of price, the value that you can get from a used car and counteracting depreciation really isn't there right now. But there are, of course, other factors that come into mind when getting a new or used car. But if you found that explanation to be helpful or informative at all, please be sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel to grow and reach new people. Thank you so much in advance, and now let's continue on with the video. Next, let's discuss insurance costs. Unfortunately, insurance is kind of a mixed bag. It's something that is kind of difficult to give you average numbers right off the bat. Some premiums will actually increase as your cars get older because they have less safety and anti-theft measures. But this is going to be completely dependent upon the make and model of your car, as well as the insurance provider that you get a quote from. What I would personally recommend that you do is get multiple quotes for the cars and the ages that you're looking at. In North Carolina, the average cost of car insurance is about $121 a month. So any savings that you can make here will really be a big impact for you. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is the general maintenance of the car. According to the Federal Highway Administration, the average American drives about 14,000 miles a year. Given that you should change your oil every 30,000 miles or so, and that oil changes cost around $60 nowadays, you're already looking at spending about $180 to $240 a year just in oil changes. And that doesn't take into account the other routine maintenance that you'll need to do on your car. But honestly, routine maintenance is generally going to stay the same between a new and a used car. As long as you're keeping up with it, those costs won't vary that much. However, there are other maintenance costs that can put a dent in your wallet. What you could possibly run into with a used car is having to perform that non-routine maintenance at an earlier time period. For example, in the last 2 months, I've had to perform over $2,000 in repairs to my Toyota Corolla. And this could have happened sooner to you if you had bought it used versus if you had bought it new. You can never truly predict when these kind of things are going to happen, so it's always important that you have some sort of an emergency fund in place no matter what age your car is. But generally speaking, you might have to make those big repairs sooner on a used car. Finally, let's talk about something that's outside the realm of cost, and that's going to be the features and amenities that are included with whatever car that you get. One of the biggest perks of getting a new car is the increased anti-theft and safety measures that come with the car. On top of that, you can typically customize the car however you want if you're getting it from a dealership. Buying a used car doesn't have this type of flexibility to it. So if you're wanting specific features, you're going to have to do a little bit of shopping around, and you might have to be a little bit less flexible on price when you do finally find that used car that has everything that you want. But I'd like to hear from y'all. What are some of the features that you look for when you're getting a car? And what are the type of hobbies that you like to do? I like to see how those features that you look for kind of align with the different hobbies that people have. Let me know with a comment down below. I like to try and read them all. So we've covered the main categories that I feel like go into buying a car. The cost, the insurance, the maintenance, and then general features that you might want with the car. But what is my recommendation? Well, to be completely honest with you guys, right now, I really don't recommend buying a car if you can afford to wait. Prices are really high on both fronts. So if you have the option to wait a little bit and hopefully the car market will stabilize, that might be your best bet. However, I do recognize that not everyone has that option or wants to wait to get a new car. In general, my recommendation is if you were looking at potentially getting a lightly used car, I would kind of just go for the new version unless budget is what's restricting you. Because honestly, the depreciation aspect of it doesn't hold the same value as it used to, as used cars are selling higher and higher. If you have a used car that you're able to trade in and get some bang for your buck, it might be the time to do that because used cars are selling for more than they ever have before. If you have to stay within a certain budget, that is absolutely fine. You can still get a used car, but make sure that you are doing your research and you're looking into the history of the car because unfortunately, with today's money, you're going to have to get older cars than we used to have to get with the same money. Everyone's situation is different, so it's kind of hard to make a generalized recommendation based on what I think you should do, but there you have it. That's just my opinion. But that's going to bring us to the end of today's video. If you found the information in the video to be helpful or informative at all, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe. It helps the channel to grow immensely, and I can't tell you thank you enough. Additionally, if you have any thoughts or ideas or videos that you might like to see, please leave a comment down below. I like to try and read and respond to as many of them as I can. If you're interested in more of my videos where I talk about financial topics, be sure to check out this video right here where I discuss some funds that you can invest in for your retirement. If you're more interested in my most recent stuff, be sure to check out this video right here. But until the next time, this is the Mengineer, signing off.